Welcome back to Blizzard Owl Arms. My name is Noah, and I'm going to be, for episode 2, squaring up where I'd cut it so that the stock block here actually fits where it needs to fit. As you can see, it's sitting in there, but that's just because of friction from the metal plate that's actually going to act as more rigidity. And speaking of rigidity, after looking at this little plate right here that I told you to hang on to, I'm still going to tell you to hang on to it, but little correction to what I was saying. The bolt rides on the rails on the inside. I'm a little bit oblivious sometimes. This is just to increase rigidity between the two sides. So we're still going to want to keep it, clean it up, and put it in. We'll just do that a little later. So for now, I'm going to set these off to the side, and we're going to slowly work this in until the pinhole right here lines up with the back pinhole of the fire control group. So make sure you got your eyes and ears when you're doing this stuff. You don't want to lose your hearing too early, or an eye. Make sure you go kind of slow with it too. Be careful not to let it catch like that. Now that we've got it kind of squared up, I just want to see where we're at in relation to everything. Looks like that bottom still needs to be squared up a little bit more. Yeah. You can see there's still a bit of a gap right there. It's not fitting all the way flush like it needs to. And this is what I mean by, you know, go kind of slow. Don't try to force anything. Now, odds are pretty good that you're going to make marks like this. Yeah, where it just grabs and decides to go. It's okay. Don't worry about it. We're going to scrub that out later on whenever we refinish, because we're going to completely take this all down, redo the finish on it with some black texture paint, and then we're going to go over that with Duracoat to clean it up. So if you make a little boo-boo like that, don't freak out. It'll be okay. That gap is looking a lot better. Looks like there might still be to be a little bit more off the bottom. Actually, that right there is pretty damn dead on. So that means that whenever we get ready to fuse all this, we'll have to use a slurry filler. Now, what's a slurry? A slurry is a mixture of ABS plastic and acetone. As you can see, I've got a pretty thick slurry right here. which is what you're going to use to fuse these pieces of plastic together. Because your main receiver that you're working with is made up of a fiberglass polymer resin. This particular stock block right here is actually from Tommy Built Tactical. I didn't buy it through them. I actually got it off of Gunbroker. Somebody was selling it as a legit chopped up rear receiver, and I bought it because the pics were so low quality that you could not see the 3D print lines that Tommy Built makes theirs with. But because it's still a Tommy Built, I know it's going to work out okay. So the real question is whether or not I can actually get these two pieces fused together and make it good. So looks to me like the fit on these parts is about as perfect as I'm going to get them. And I can test that. I got one of my pins right here. And my spare pins are here in my workbench. Because you're going to need at least one extra pin when you do this, since you're replacing those two little Allen screws. Alright, so with both those pins in place, you can now begin to see how tightened up it is. And that means that there's going to be just a slight gap right here that I'm going to have to fill in using, and then I'll have to go back and sand it down on the inside so the bolt travels properly. But before we can do that, the way Tommy Built designed this metal, come on, fresh parts is going to come apart. When in doubt, grab something else to pry it out. There we go. Okay, so Tommy Built designed these stock blocks to have a few holes for you to screw some 8x32 let's see the exact thing. It doesn't say. Anyway, these are beveled screw heads. So as you can see right there. Now you're going to use the 1/2 inches for the back side right here. We're going to take these back out whenever, or right before we go to actually putting this whole thing together. Because as you can see, they're a little bit too long. So we got to cut those down. And then we're going to use 8x32 by 3 1/4 to do these two right here. So what we're going to have to do is remove the fire control group, and basically we're going to stick this in right here, flip it upside down, and you're going to see where they come out at. And we're going to drill from the inside so that we get proper alignment on where those holes are going to come out at. Because I have a general idea of where they will come out at. They're going to come out on either side of this hole that you use to put your rail back on, or if you have one of the optics. So we're going to have to drill at minimum at least the front hole. That way then we can hold it all together without having to put the fire control group back in while that slurry does its job to fill this all in and seal it up. And it's going to increase the rigidity. Now, one thing of note is that if you're using the original bolt from the SL8 and you decide to swap out the bolt itself for one that can use double stack magazines, because this one cannot, you'll see they ground down one of the lugs. You'll have to cut this little nub off right here, or else it's never going to work. Now, even on the fully auto models and other semi-auto models that you can find in like Canada or Europe, where they have access to the SL8 with a double stack mag or the 243, they won't have that. That is purely for America, because, well, you know what they say, HK hates us. So now that we've done that and gotten it squared up and trued, we are going to set this right here, and you're going to want a 9/64 drill bit. You can do this using a drill press, you can do it using a hand drill. Just going to have to be careful. Which, mine is not long enough to make that. So, instead, while I figure that out, let's go ahead and get a little bit of this all cleaned up. Because it's not going to do us any good. There we go. Don't let this go very far, you're going to need it again. That's tightened up. We're just going to put it on low and gently clean off all this material. Eyes and ears go back on. Safety first. Alright, so now that we've got this edge prepped, or at the very least cleaned off, I think we'll go ahead and, just to finish out the episode, just go ahead and clean this off. Now, there is a little bit of metal in it. That metal is for holding on the metal right here at the end that isn't necessarily connected to the rest of it. This metal right here is purely for your serial number for your firearm and for the mounting holes for those two Allen screws that held the fire control group and the stock on. Now we are going to have to hack this thing up just so we can get that serial number out and fuse it on the inside of the stock block. Helps when you're holding it the right way. But right in here. And on Tommy Built's stock box that you can purchase, it already comes with a spot on the inside specifically for you to essentially you're going to slurry it in as well to finish gluing it in. So let's go ahead and round out the episode by cleaning this little plate up. I'd say that's pretty cleaned up for now at the very least. I mean, we're going to have to go through it and probably clean it up a bit more before we do the final install on it. Plastic gets everywhere when you're using a Dremel. So that'll be it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you on the next one.